see something strange. Come with us and you will see. This our town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat, till the neighbors gonna die right. This our town, everybody scream. In our town of Halloween.
Okay, and here we are. I know I've done a lot of videos recently about like product reviews or catching snakes and things like that. And I'm like, I haven't talked about a movie or a TV show in a while. And with Halloween just a couple days away, I figured, why not? Let's go over the Grandalorian's top 5 Halloween movies. So my qualifier for this is that this had to have been a movie that I watched to make the list. So some movies are not going to be on here, like Saw or Scream. Spoiler alert, sorry, because I actually haven't seen those movies. So, and I thought I would bring on somebody to help me critique um, my choices here and see if he's seen them as well. So I'd like to offer up to you Tender Lumplings.
Tender lumplings everywhere. Life's no fun without me. Tender lumplings, what's good?
That's that's almost as good as David Pumpkins from Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, after I guess after Danny Elfman made the music for Nightmare Before Christmas, he actually made a song called Tender Lumplings. So this is the album cover of the album Boingo by Oingo Boingo, Danny Elfman's
Oh, wait,
musical
let me
project.
remove the. Let's get a better look at this so I can remove. Yeah. Oh
Yep,
wow.
Boingo.
Danny Elfman's going to make a few appearances on this list
Oh, he has to.
for a
He's
couple
the goat.
reasons. So I was saying that I haven't done a movie review or a show review in a while. Doing these product things, ozone removal of smoke and all that. And let's go with the Halloween one. So I was saying to the audience that these had to have been movies that I've seen. So like Saw or the Scream movie, like those movies aren't really on here because I've never really seen those.
Hmm.
And it was just something like, what would I watch at Halloween? So here's my top 5. Number 5 on my list. See if you can guess this one. This is a classic and has been made into a Broadway show.
Broadway musical.
Yep.
Um. Frozen.
Frozen. And your sister's seen it with your mother.
Oh, my sister. Oh, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, Michael
Yes,
Keaton.
Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton, Gina Davis, Catherine O'Hara. Remember Catherine O'Hara? She's
Winona
gonna
Ryder.
come up again. Winona Ryder. Yeah, Beetlejuice is the story of a recently deceased married couple played by Gina Davis and I think Alec Baldwin. Um, and they're back at their house, and this unbearable family has purchased their house, and they want to try and scare them off the property, but they're just not good enough at it. So they hire Beetlejuice, who's a veteran specter who can rid the house of unwanted living, but at what price? You know. And this movie
Right.
was made by Tim Burton, and
Oh
probably at a
yeah.
time where he was like kind of reaching the peak of his gothic years when he was making good movies. Although some people, I think Tim Burton did that Wednesday show for Netflix.
Oh, did he really?
I think that was him, and that was actually pretty good.
Huh.
And after this, he did like the first Batman movie because this was before Batman and Edward Scissorhands and Ed Wood, and that's probably like his Mount Rushmore of good movies that he's made. Um, but yeah, this movie's got like all the Tim Burton tropes in it, crazy props and special effects and crazy sets and all that, and of course the black and white stripes appear on everything. For Tim Burton. So that's my number 5. Have you actually seen this movie?
I've not. I've not seen the movie. I've heard a couple songs from the Broadway version, but I understand that those songs are not in the movie, so I really don't know much about this movie.
The only movie I can think of, the song from this movie, the big one is Deo.
Yeah, I have seen that scene. That's a funny scene.
That is a funny scene.
I like that. I love
All
that
right. Well,
song
I know
too.
you've seen my number 4.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing movie.
Yes.
I
Uh,
love this movie.
this movie was this produced by Tim Burton?
I think it's probably heavily inspired by some of his work, but I don't think this is a Tim Burton movie in any shape or form.
Well, I know the director for this is Henry Selick, and remember that name. He's going to make another one later on down the line here. Um, and this, how would I summarize this movie? There's like an unhappy young girl who's frustrated by her neglectful parents. She thinks she's being neglected and ignored, and she doesn't quite fit in. And she finds this secret passage in her house to this parallel world that seems to be like the idealized version of her world. Everything's bright colors, and she's got these doting parents. The only problem is they just happen to have buttons instead of eyes. And Coraline is invited to stay in their world by her other mother. Uh, and the only thing is she has to have buttons sewn in her eyes to stay there. So you have the whole, is this actually utopia for her, or is this just a trap to capture her? The animation in this is phenomenal.
I think this is probably one of the most beautiful stop motion movies ever made. It's just a crowning achievement for stop motion. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it really really is. And not only is the animation good, this story is actually really creepy.
Hmm.
For the situation she's in when they're trying to get her, and you know, a- and you know what, this movie is so good. This probably could have won best animated movie the year it came out, except that it was up against Up,
Oh,
which I honestly think Up was the movie of the year, not just best animated movie of the year. And even if Up hadn't come out that year, you also had The Princess and the Frog that year, which is also very
all
good.
right.
So that's three like killer animated movies. And Coraline sometimes gets, I think, doesn't get the respect it deserves because it's
But
just a
it's still one of those movies that has such a loyal fan base. Like there's still people making video essays about Coraline. Like it's definitely a movie that stands the test of time, and it's just as good at when you're an adult as it is when you're a kid. And I'm that's saying that as someone who didn't see it as a kid in theaters. I just saw it when I was like 20, so I
I don't know
love it.
how we missed this because obviously you were 9, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah.
This would have been a movie we probably would have seen, but we missed this one because we saw Up in the movie theater.
Hmm.
I know we all saw that one.
Yeah, I
Um,
just missed it.
if you haven't seen this, people out there in YouTube land, if you have not seen this movie, waste no time. Go out and watch it. It's fantastic. All
I
right,
love it.
number 3. Can you guess what number 3 is? I'll give you a hint. I see dead people.
Oh, The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense.
What a banger.
This movie, this was when M. Night Shyamalan didn't stink at making movies because he just became kind of like a one-trick pony where it was just like, oh, what a twist. There's a big twist at the end. This was the first of the big twist movies and did not see it coming. And wow, it's creepy. And, it's not, I almost didn't include it on this list because it's not really like centering around Halloween at all. And neither is really Coraline either, but this is just one I could watch whenever it's on.
Oh yeah.
Maddie's scenes from it, when she's walking by and I'm like, Maddie, sit down and watch this real quick. And she's like, oh my gosh, what is this movie? And I'm like, this is The Sixth Sense, and it's really good. So have you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie twice now. I never actually watched it without knowing the twist, which kind of sucks. I want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't know the twist, but it's just one of the for M Night Shyamalan to kind of only have like you can count as good movies on one hand. This movie is so good that it makes it all worth it. Like it probably has the best twist of any movie I've ever seen. It's shot, it's directed, it's just done so well. And it as much as it's like, a scary movie, it's also like a drama about a family that always works. Like I always buy the family drama. I always like buy this kid like is it Henry Joe Osment or something?
Haley Joel Osment, yeah.
Haley Joel Osment. He's an incredible child actor. He gives an incredible performance here as the kind of the main protagonist in this movie. I guess him and Bruce Willis, and their chemistry is great. And oh my gosh, there are just some chilling scenes in this movie, and it's never really like a jump scare, but it's just so creepy, and I love it. I love the twist. It's so well done.
And you know what? It does hit emotional beats as well. Because as Bruce Willis is trying to help this child deal with his struggles, he's also struggling with his own marriage. and that's like the backdrop that's kind of hanging over him the whole time during the movie. He's trying to help this boy out, but he's also trying to figure out what he's going to do with his wife.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this movie also shows like all the best views of Philadelphia because it's all shot in Philly.
Oh,
Because M
really?
Night Shyamalan is from Philly, and he tries to like center as much of his movies as he can in Philadelphia. So this entire movie takes place in and around the suburbs of Philadelphia and some of the better, nicer sections of Philly. There's probably three of them, I guess. I kid Philly. Uh, yeah, and then after and then he actually just threw out bombs like that last Airbender and After Earth, The Happening, like
They
The
just did a movie
Village.
recently where it's like when you go on this beach, you start olding faster. It was like the dumbest premise of a movie ever.
There's probably a twist at the end though.
Yeah.
All right. But that's man, that's a great movie, and it's my number 3. All right, Tender Lumpling, of course, you're in number 2.
Oh, how is this number 2?
Oh, wait till you see what my number 1. And my number 1, I don't think you've seen. And I'm gonna explain to you why this was originally gonna be my number 1, but then I was like, no, I gotta put this other one at number 1. But it's another Danny Elfman score of a movie directed by the same guy who directed Coraline.
Oh. Well,
Um,
not Coraline.
yeah, no, the director,
Didn't Tim Burton do this?
well, Tim Burton did this, but didn't oh, wasn't Henry Selick
Well,
doing the
Henry
stop
Selick
motion?
was the director for this. That's right. It's a
Yeah.
Tim Burton story, but Henry Selick directed it. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because he's so good at the stop animation stuff.
Right.
He's
Okay.
the
Got you.
OG at that. And you got Danny Elfman also doing the singing voice for Jack Skellington, and you got Catherine O'Hara back from my number 5 movie. Catherine O'Hara's in Beetlejuice.
Hmm.
She also has 2 roles in this movie. She plays Sally, and she plays one of the 3 kids.
Right.
They're what, Lock, Stock, and Barrel or something like that. Um, and this is just like, how would I describe this movie? It's, Jack is the head of Halloween Town, and they finish another Halloween, and he's kind of like sick of it and tired, and he wants something different, and he's wandering around this forest the next day and stumbles upon these trees that have doors in them that go to different holidays, and he stumbles into the Christmas one, and he's totally captivated by Christmas Town, and he wants to take over Christmas and give Sandy Claus a little break. But can a skeleton from Halloween Town and his little ghouls, can they actually do Christmas right, or will it just be a big disaster? And
Hmm.
that's the basic plot of the movie. Oh, I hear Mulan out there. Maybe she's mad at me because I've got this movie second.
Yeah, Mulan likes
Yeah,
this one.
but this is the music that I've been singing this for weeks now, like walking around like that.
Oh, I love the music. I love the
Yeah,
music. I remember seeing this as a kid, and I think it's really interesting that like I watched this in elementary school. And it's a very creepy visually movie. Like this, the characters of Halloween Town are very like scary looking, but it's still just such a captivating movie. Like I loved it as a kid. And it's kind of shocking to think that when this movie first came out, it was a Disney movie. Disney kind of like, funded this movie, but it bombed because kids like didn't know what to think when this first, dropped because the Disney movie you're expecting like, Aladdin or Little Mermaid, and then you get The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it didn't really get much traction when it first came out. But, this story endures, and then it had a second life kind of like the early 2000s. So it's just I love it. It's timeless, and the music is incredible, and there's a reason why everybody had a phone case of Jack Skellington in middle school because this
yes,
movie was the bomb.
yes, and this is fantastic. And you know what? This is going to be a recurring theme with my number 1 movie, of a movie that came out and they weren't quite sure how to market it, and they ran into competition with the Summer Olympics, I think, and the movie Independence Day, I think, came out the same weekend, and it kind of got drowned out, and it kind of bombed at the box office, but it's had a huge cult following. It's a Peter Jackson movie with a musical score by Danny Elfman.
Huh.
Any idea what this movie is?
I have no clue.
Michael J. Fox, The Frighteners.
Oh no, I have seen this movie. You showed me it.
I made you watch The Frighteners.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe you'll understand why I like this movie so much because this movie reminds me of Predator. So I made you watch Predator, and when we watch Predator, the movie starts off as like a testosterone fuel 80s action movie, and then it kind of all of a sudden shifts into like this horror movie where they're getting hunted by this monster, and then it shifts again to like this survival movie where it's just Arnold and the Predator, and he's trying to take the monster out. This movie, I first saw this on cable, I think, and I was watching it, and it started off, and I'm like, oh, it's a silly little movie. This Michael Fox plays this guy named Frank Bannister, he's like a out of work architect who's like kind of depressed because his wife died in a car accident. He's kind of given up on his work, and he was injured in the accident, and now he can see ghosts. So he
Right.
has like a team of ghosts, and he goes around and they find a house to haunt, and they leave his card and they call him, and he comes in for a fee and does like an exorcism on the house. And you're watching it, and I'm like, okay, this is silly, and you're like half involved. And then he's doing the exorcism, and at the end, the husband isn't really buying it from the woman they scared. And she's like, no, 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 we got to do this. And he's like, all right, Bannister, get out. And he turns and looks at him, and he sees the husband has this flaming number on his forehead. And he's
Oh.
asking the ghost, like, which one of you put the flaming number on the forehead? And they're like, what are you talking about? And the next day, that guy's dead. And then he finds out that there's this evil, malevolent spirit posing as the Grim Reaper. They call the Soul Taker, who's killing people and like kind of foretelling the next murder by letting Michael J. Fox see the flaming number on the forehead. And it just takes a hard turn from this silly little ghost comedy into this horror movie. As you find more of the backstory out about him and this guy that's hunting them, and the who the Soul Taker actually is. I thought it was really, really well done, and like groundbreaking special effects by Peter Jackson. And this is like one of his culty movies that fans of Peter Jackson, they love this movie, and this movie has endured long after it came out. And I thought it was great.
I remember seeing this movie. I thought it was really good. And like you said, the special effects are amazing. I'm pretty sure the Corridor Crew did a video on this for one of their VFX artist reacts. And yeah, it's
When
just
we're
great.
done, I'm going right on YouTube and watching the Corridor Crew one because
Yeah, it's really
they're
good.
great.
I love them.
They should
Yeah,
be
it's super
shouting me
really.
out. I'm going to shout out Corridor Crew. They should shout me out.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
My
Corridor
my
Crew.
411. Hey, we should celebrate. I have my first video that went over 3,000 views, and I think it's like 3,200 now.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, people like those countdown timers.
Oh yeah.
I got a 21-minute one with Disney pictures we took, and like I guess schools, teachers are like, you want to give the kids a 20-minute activity time, and you throw that timer up, and hey, it's working. It's working. Like, more people use it. I wish people would comment on it and tell me like how long would you like to see a countdown timer video for? I'll make it.
I wonder
They're
what the most common countdown timer is that people search for on
Well, I mean, I
YouTube.
have 5, 10, 15, 20, 60, 90. Like I have all and the 20-minute one is the one that's killing it.
Right.
I have ones with the dog and the cat and the dog and the cat. Like you got your choice. But
Huh.
no, the Disney 20-minute one is just killing it.
Good stuff, yeah. Good stuff.
Hey, honorable mention. I have to ask you, um, for a Halloween movie, is E.T. a Halloween movie?
I mean, it takes place during Halloween. So yeah, is it the most scary movie in the world? Probably not. But it's a movie you can watch during Halloween and have fun with it. So I think so. Why not? Why
And
not?
the other one, and this movie actually may have knocked The Nightmare Before Christmas down to number 3. Should Coco be a Halloween movie? And the reason I kept it off is because it's specifically a Dia de los Muertos movie, which is November 1st and 2nd, I think.
Right.
It actually is specifically another holiday, but I mean, you could watch that one at Halloween because it involves, the undead and all that, and it's an amazingly good movie. So, but I left Coco off.
I think you could definitely make a case for Coco being a Halloween movie, but I would say that, like you were saying, since it is a different holiday and it kind of means a different thing, like the story's not so much about like Halloween and that scary stuff. It's more about like remembering your ancestors and that kind of thing, which I think is a little bit different. But it's certainly like, has the spooky imagery. So I'd say why not? You know? I
Well,
don't
I
think
left
there
it
needs to be
off.
any. Yeah, it's a good movie though. I love Coco.
Yeah. Anything else you think should have been on here?
Um, man, let me think. I mean, there are some more classic Halloween movies like Casper, the Friendly Ghost. Like that's a
Didn't
pretty
see
good
it.
movie. You didn't see it?
Actually never saw that one because I thought about that. I'm like, I didn't see that one. I can't put it on my list.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. Um,
Or either Haunted Mansion movie. I didn't see either one of those.
I think I did see one of those when we were driving down to Disney one year. The Eddie Murphy one. Well, yeah, I saw the Eddie Murphy one. The new one wasn't out when I watched it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen enough Halloween movies. I really haven't.
Well, now you got your homework to do. You got to watch
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
I'll have to watch Beetlejuice. It's classic.
All right. I know it's getting late and you've had a busy weekend and we all got to go to work tomorrow.
Yup.
So wait, your EP drops what day?
Next, not this upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, November
Wednesday
8th.
after that. And I'm going to link in the description to Tunes by Doug. And thanks for doing the intro music for this video.
Hey, yeah, of course. Check it
Yeah.
out, yo. Check it out.
Yeah, please do so. All right. And everybody have a good night.
All right.
See
Meow.
ya.